Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this cute 70s granny square vest from Yarnspiration. The pattern for this tutorial is free and I'll leave in the link in the description. Also, I will be selling this vest on my Etsy shop called Throwback Chains. I'll also leave the listing for that in the link in the description. For the yarn, I got 4 skeins of yarn, each of them being weight 4s. I did 4 colors, those of which being lavender, medium purple, and pale plum, all from Red Heart Super Saver. And I used the color chocolate brown from Big Twist Value. And of course, you don't have to do 4 colors like I did, or these colors at all. This pattern is super customizable, so you could do whatever you like. For the hook, it depends on what size clothes you wear. I did a small, so I used a G6. For a medium, you will need an H8. And for a large, you'll need an I9. You'll also need a blunt needle, scissors, and some stitch markers. So for rounds 1 through 10, we're going to make the granny square part. I'm going to start off by using the dark purple yarn, then slip tie it onto the hook. Then you're going to chain 2. Then you're going to work 8 single crochets in the first chain from the hook. So right here, and make sure you tuck in that straggler as much as you can. It's much less of a pain than going around at the end with your needle and weaving all the stragglers in. Alright, so now I'm going to do my last single crochet. I'm going to make sure I have 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, I'm good, and that is your first round. So far, so easy. So for round 2, you're going to chain 4, which will count as a double crochet and a chain 1. So chain 4 and 4. Then you're going to double crochet in the next single crochet and chain 1. So I'm gonna, what am I doing? Okay, there we go. I'm gonna yarn over, insert the hook in the single crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over again, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2 more. I'm gonna yarn over, pull through again to make that chain 1. Then I'm gonna yarn over and go into the next single crochet. So I'm gonna go through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 more, yarn over, pull through 2, my yarn is a little difficult to work with, so it's kind of tricky. Yarn over, pull through 2, and chain 1. And you're going to do this all around and you'll have 8 double crochets in total. I'll meet you at the end. Alright, so I'm on my last double crochet, so I'm going to yarn over, insert it right in this single crochet, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops, chain 1, and now I'm going to slip stitch in the first chain 1 space. Make sure not to do a single crochet, it's a very easy mistake. So I'm going to insert it right up here. See, I almost did a double crochet. So you're going to insert your hook in the chain, yarn over, pull through, it's a little tricky, then pull through that loop. Now for me, I'm going to end off this color and fasten it off but in the written pattern, the first color goes on for one more round. So you could decide what to do next. And I'll meet you in the third round. So for round 3, I'm going to be using the brown yarn, and I'll tie this to the first chain 1 space, not through the chain. So right in there. Make sure you go in through the spaces for these next few rounds. I'll let you know if we have to go through a chain. And if you're still using the first color, you're going to just slip stitch in that chain 1 space. Then you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Anytime we do a chain 3, it will always count as a double crochet throughout. Then we're going to work 2 double crochets in the same space. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 more, and yarn over, pull through those last 2 loops. And then you're going to do 1 more double crochet, yarn over, go through your space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 more. And once you're done with that, you're going to chain 1. And in the next chain 1 space, we're going to form our corner for this square. So you're going to do 3 double crochets right through this space, yarn over, go through the space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through those last 2, and continue to make those 2 double crochets in that space. Then you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And you're going to double crochet 3 more in that same space. Then we're going to chain 1, and we had just made our first corner. Then we're going to add 3 more double crochets in the next space. Alright, so now I'm just going to chain 1, and you're going to repeat this pattern 2 more times, and I'll meet you at the end. So I'm now just going to add a chain 1 to my last corner stitch, and I'm going to slip stitch right here at the top of the beginning chain. Yarn over, pull through this chain, yarn over, pull through. And there we go. I'm going to fasten off this yarn, and I'm going to move on to my next color in round 4. And here's what it looks like. Might have to stretch it out a little bit, but so far so good. Alright, so for round 4, I'm going to be using my light purple yarn, and I'm going to join my yarn in any of the chain 3 spaces. So I'm going to go in right here. Then I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Remember that it counts as a double crochet. Then I'm going to do 2 more double crochets in that same chain 3 space. Alright, so now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to make 3 more double crochets in that same chain 3 space. So there's my first. There's my second. And there's my third. Then I'm going to chain 1, and there's your corner. And in the next chain 1 space, you're going to do 3 more double crochets. And there's my third. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to do 3 more double crochets in this next chain 1 space. Alright, so I'm going to now chain 1, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets in this corner. Okay, and then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to do 3 more double crochets in that chain 3 space. And my third. Chain 1. And there you go, your second corner is done for the 4th round. You'll be repeating this whole process until you get to the end, so I'll meet you there. Alright, so now I'm at the end, and I'm going to end off this round by doing my last 3rd double crochet in this chain 1 space. Then I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain, so right in there. And here is what it looks like. You can end off your color if you like, but I'm going to carry it on to the next round. So I'll meet you at row 5. For round 5, you're going to slip stitch to the first chain 3 space. If you're using a new color, just tie on your new yarn in the chain 3 space. Then you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to do the 2 double crochets. Alright, then I'm going to, just gotta fix this. Alright, then I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do my 3 double crochets in that same chain 3 space. So 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. And then the next chain 1 space, do 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and do this until you get to the next chain 3 space. I'll meet you there. Okay, so now we're at our second corner, and you're going to do 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space. And then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and do 3 more double crochets in that same chain 3 space. My third double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, and in the next chain 1 space, do 3 more double crochets. And my third. Chain 1, and repeat this process, and I'll meet you at the end. Alright, so I'm going to do my last third double crochet in this chain 1 space. Alright, and I decided to be really dumb here and forget to do my chain 1 before slip stitching to the top of the beginning chain. So make sure you do your chain 1, then slip stitch. But yeah, so once you've done your chain 1, slip stitch. Then you're going to fasten off. And here's what it looks like. And remember to do your chain 1 before you slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain. So now we'll move on to round 6. For round 6, I'm going to use my medium purple yarn, and I'm going to tie it to any of the chain 3 spaces. So I'm going to put it right here. This round is the exact same as round 4, so you could go back to this timestamp and I'll meet you at the end. Alright, so I just finished up my 6th round, and here's what it looks like. Now we'll head on to round 7. For round 7, it's also easy because we're repeating round 5, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so now I'm done with this round, and I'm also going to finish off this color. So let me just cut it off and fasten it. Alright, and now we'll move on to the next round. For round 8, you'll also be repeating round 4. But first, I'm going to use my dark purple yarn. And again, I'm going to tie it onto any of the chain 3 spaces. And I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so here's what it looks like. I'm also going to fasten off this color yarn. And we'll move on to round 9. For round 9, it's just like round 4, but instead of chaining 3 for the corner, we'll do only 1 chain. So I'm going to use my brown yarn, and I'm going to tie it onto any of the chain 3 spaces. Then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to do 2 double crochets. There's my first. And my second. And now we're going to just chain 1. Do not chain 3. Then we're going to do 3 more double crochets in that same chain 3 space. And my third. So here's what that looks like. Then I'm going to chain 1 and do my 3 double crochets in that chain 1 space. You're going to then chain 1 and repeat this 6 more times, and I'll meet you at the next corner. Alright, so I just finished up that 3rd double crochet, and I'm going to chain 1 and do 3 double crochets in the chain 3 space. Alright, then I'm going to chain 1, remember not to chain 3. Then I'm going to do 3 more double crochets in that chain 3 space. and my third. Chain 1, and in the next chain 1 space, do 3 double crochets. Alright, so now I'm at the end, and I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain. Alright, that's what it looks like, and now we'll head on to round 10, which will be our last round for the granny square part. Okay, so if those last rounds seemed easy, then this is going to be extremely easy. So we're going to start off by chaining 3, so 1, 2, and 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a double crochet in each double crochet. So 1 there, there. So I'm going to start off by inserting my hook through this double crochet, this first one. It's a little difficult to see, but I bet you could find it. Then I'm going to go into this next double crochet, and now I'm at this chain 1 space, so you're just going to double crochet in that space. Then I'm going to double crochet in this double crochet. So just remember, once you get to those chain 1 spaces, just do your double crochet through the space. It's that easy. Just remember not to do any chain 1s throughout this whole round. And I'll meet you at the end. So I just finished my last double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain. And remember, do not chain 1 then slip stitch. Just slip stitch right through that chain. Then I'm going to fasten off this yarn. And you should have 144 double crochets, 36 double crochets being on each side. You'll now need to make your second granny square. You can save it for later, but it helps to have it done now. Okay, so for the straps, I'm going to be using my stitch markers to know where to place them. So you could place your first stitch marker in any corner. I put mine right here because it looks like it's more of a corner to me. It's on the 4th double crochet that goes through the chain 1 space. And once you're done, I'm going to count 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to put a stitch marker right through there. It's that second double crochet where the 3 double crochets are together. And there you go. So that's the first strap. And then I'm going to count 24 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then on the 25th double crochet, I'm going to put a stitch marker there. And I'm going to count 6 more, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And there we go, right through there. Now it's going to look uneven, but don't panic. When I was doing this vest for the first time, I thought I messed up on something when in reality I didn't. So don't panic, just trust the process because this is right. So for row 1 of the straps, we're going to start on the left side. So right over here, I'm going to be using my brown yarn, and you're going to tie it onto where the first stitch marker is towards the back. Then you're going to chain 3, 2, 3, and then you're going to do double crochet in each of these double crochets until you get to the next stitch marker. So what is my second? Because the 3 chains count as a double crochet. 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna put my last double crochet in where the stitch marker is, so 6. All right, and that's row 1, so very easy, and I'll meet you at the second round. Okay, so for rows 2 through 6, you are going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Turn. And double crochet in the next 5 double crochets. Now, if you're a medium or large, do 7 rows. So despite my vest being a small, I decided to do 7 rows of double crochets because that fits me best. 6 rows was just too short for me. So because I did 7 rows, you might need to add a few more rows if you're a medium or large. Every body is different, so I suggest that once you get these straps done on both panels, you can put stitch markers or tie the ends of the straps together with yarn, put the vest on, and see if you need to adjust the straps. Once you're done with that first strap, you're going to cut off your yarn and fasten it off. For my first vest, I kept the straggler kind of long, so in case I need to add more rows, I could easily tie together more yarn. I advise you to do the same if you like. I also wouldn't put it in a tight knot or weave the stragglers in yet, because you might need to adjust it still. Now for rows 1, we're going to start on the right side. So still have the front side facing you, and instead of starting on the back side where that light blue stitch marker is, we're going to start right here where the orange stitch marker is. So I'm going to tie on my brown yarn. And then I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and double crochet 5 in the next 5 double crochets. and my last double crochet, which will be the 6. Alright, now I got 6 in total, and now we'll move on to rows 2 through 6. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Now, when you're done with that, you're going to repeat the same process on your second panel, and I'll meet you there once you're done with that. Once you're happy with how your straps are and how they fit on you, you're going to whip stitch them together. I just finished mine, so here's what it looks like. And also, you don't really have to do this, but I decided to put some yarn here to show that this is the back side. But I just decided to do this because why not? I just like to know there is a front and back. Alright, so there's that, and now we'll move on to the sides, and I'll see you there. For the stitch marking, I'll show you where I place my stitch markers like I did for the straps. So for both sides, I counted 11 stitches starting from the side of the strap. And there's 11, and at the 12th stitch, I put in my stitch marker. And then I counted 24 stitches. And on the 25th stitch, I put my stitch marker. You're also going to do the same on the other side. The right side and the sides in general, it was a little difficult for me doing it for the first time. I hated this part the most and it could get confusing. So I'll make sure to really slow down, repeat parts, and do the best I can to explain this section. And of course, you can slow down the playback speed and rewind. So for row 1, I'm going to be using my brown yarn, and with the front side facing you, you're going to turn your work along the right side edge. And then you're going to skip the first 11 double crochets and join your yarn in the 12th double crochet. As you can see, I already put my stitch markers where I need them to be, so I'm just going to tie my brown yarn right in that 12th double crochet where the stitch marker is. Then you're going to chain 3. One, 2, and 3. And you're going to double crochet in the next 24 to 25 double crochets. I did 25. Alright, now I'm going to go in my last double crochet where the stitch marker is. And once you're done, you're going to fasten off your yarn. And I'll meet you at row 2. For row 2, still have the front side facing you. I'm going to join my medium colored purple yarn in the first stitch. So I'm going to put it right in there. I might need to get my blunt needle for this, it's a little tricky. All right, and then you're going to chain 1. Once I get this in. Oh, it's tight. All right, there we go. There we go, chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet in the same space. Then you're going to chain, okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put a stitch marker here because it's hard to know where to put that last single crochet in the next round. So then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to skip the next double crochet and go into the one after that. I'm going to do my single crochet, chain 1, skip the next double crochet and go into the one after that. And chain 1. You're going to repeat this process until you get to the end, so I'll meet you there. Okay, so here we are. I just did my chain 1 and I'm going to skip that double crochet and go into where the stitch marker is. There we go. And now we'll head on to row 3. On row 3, you're going to chain 1 and turn. You're going to single crochet in the first single crochet. So I'm going to put it in right here. And I'm going to put a stitch marker right in there. And then you're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space. And you're going to chain 1. And you're going to single crochet in the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, and again go into the next chain 1 space, chain 1. And you're going to repeat this process until you get to the end, so I'll meet you there. Okay, so now I'm at the last chain 1 space and I'm going to single crochet right into it. Then you're going to single crochet in the last single crochet, right where the stitch marker is. And now we're done with row 3. So I'll meet you in the next round. So for row 4, it turns out that I also lost the footage to this row. I'm so sorry. So what you're going to do on this row is you're going to chain 1, then turn. You're going to single crochet in the first single crochet. You'll chain 1 again and single crochet in the next chain 1 space, and single crochet in the last single crochet. You're going to continue across to the last 2 single crochets at the end, which as you can see, I've recorded. And that is what it looks like. Again, I'm so sorry. We'll move on to the next round now. So for round 5, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Then you're going to single crochet in the first single crochet. I'm going to place my stitch marker in that single crochet I just made. Then you're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space. Chain 1, and continue this across to the last chain 1 space. So you'll go in that chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, go in the chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so now you're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space, and you're going to single crochet in the last single crochet. Then you're going to fasten off your yarn. Alright, now we're going on to our next row, only 2 more rows left. For row 6, I'm going to use my dark purple yarn and I'll tie it onto the first stitch. Alright, once I have that in, I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet in that same stitch. I'm going to put my stitch marker in that single crochet. Then I'm going to chain 1 and single crochet in the next chain 1 space. And then I'm going to continue this across until the last 2 single crochets. So chain 1, go into the chain 1 space, single crochet, chain 1. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so here we are, and what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, skip the next single crochet, and single crochet in the last single crochet. Now we'll head on to round 7, the last row for the sides. For row 7, you're going to repeat row 3. I already did it, so once you're done, you can go ahead and fasten off your yarn. We'll move on to the left side now. For row 1 on the left side, it is basically the same as the right side. We're just going to start off the side differently. So with the right side facing you, you're going to join your yarn at the lower edge of the opposite side of the granny square. Again, I'm going to be using my brown yarn. I'm going to tie it on into that double crochet. Then I'm going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and you're going to double crochet in the next 24 to 25 double crochets. Again, I did 25. And once you're done, you're going to repeat rows 2 through 7 from the right side. And we'll also add these sides to your second panel as well. I'll meet you once you're done for the next instructions. Alright, now that you're done with this portion, you can sew all of your seams together. This is also a good time too, if you haven't, to tie/stitch mark your sides and straps together just to see if you still need to make more straps adjustments. And just a reminder, if you try on your vest and it's too short despite the straps fitting, we're going to add 6 rounds of the lower edging, so it'll be a little longer but a bit cropped. When you're happy with your straps, you could weave the stragglers in. At this point, I also tied, cut, or weaved in any stragglers left in the back side of the panels. The lower edging is really easy, so with the front side still facing you, you're going to join your yarn at the seam. I'm going to be using my brown yarn. I'm going to start off right in this spot because you'll need to do 5 double crochets for this side. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to chain 3 once you have your yarn tied on. 2, 3, and you're going to do your 5 double crochets evenly spaced along this side. Now, because it's the seam, it's a little hard to tell where to place your double crochets, so just do your best, and if it looks even and right to you, then you're good. So there's my first, my second, third, fourth, and remember to put your 5th one down where that double crochet, that brown double crochet is when you started your first row for the sides. And there you go, you're going to have 6 double crochets total because that chain 3 is the double crochet. Now you're going to be doing 36 double crochets all the way across until you get to the next side. I'll meet you there. Okay, so now that you have 36 more double crochets, you're going to evenly space 12 double crochets in both of these sides. So I'm going to start off my first double crochet in that brown double crochet where that first row was for the side. Now because there's 12 double crochets for the side, I'm going to be doing 6 double crochets on one side and 6 double crochets on the other. So I'm going to be doing 5 more here. And again, there is no exact science to where as they should be. So as long as there's 12 double crochets, you're good. There's my third. Fourth. Fifth. And my 6th. Now I'm going to do 6 more on the other side of the side. There's my first. Second. third, fourth, my fifth, and remember my last double crochet will be in the first row for the side. And there you go, there's your 12 double crochets. And now you're going to be doing 36 more double crochets at the bottom until you get to the next side. So I'll meet you there. Okay, so now you're at the last half of your side. So just do 6 double crochets evenly spaced along the side edge. There's my first. My second. My third. Fourth. Fifth. And my sixth. Then you're going to slip stitch to the top of the beginning chain. Alright, there you go. This is what it looks like. Round 1 is now done and you should have 96 double crochets in total. For round 2, you're going to chain 3. Then you're going to turn. And you're going to be doing 2 double crochets together. So you're going to put your yarn over, go through the first double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, and go into the next double crochet. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, and pull through those last 3 loops. And you've just made 2 double crochets together. Then you're going to double crochet in the next 14 double crochets. You're going to repeat this process 5 more times until you get to the end. Okay, so I just finished my 14 double crochets and I'm going to show you how to do the 2 double crochets together. So again, you're going to yarn over, go through the next double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, you should have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through the next double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, you should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through those last 3 loops, and you've just made your second 2 double crochets together. And then you're going to do your 14 double crochets, and I'll meet you at the end once you're done with this round. Alright, so I just finished with my last double crochet, and you're going to slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain like we always do. Alright, so round 2 is done. You should have 90 double crochets in total. Now we'll move on to the next round. So for rounds 3 through 4, you're going to chain 3 and turn your work. And then you're going to double crochet in each of the 90 double crochets. And again, do this for 2 rounds. I'll meet you at the end of round 4. Okay, so now you should have rounds 3 and 4 done. You're going to now slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain. And if you try on the vest and you want it longer, just repeat this round until you're satisfied with the length. Then you're going to fasten off your yarn, and we'll head on to round 5. So for round 5, we're going to start the border. I'm going to take my light purple yarn and tie it to any of the double crochets. Then you're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the same space. Then you're going to single crochet in each single crochet around, and I'll meet you at the end. Now that you're done, we're going to slip stitch in the first single crochet. Alright, and here is what it looks like. And now we'll head on to round 6. Our last row for the lower edging is really fun because we're going to be doing a picot stitch. You can always do a different type of stitch, but the pattern shows a picot, so I'll stick with that. So first you're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the same space. Then you're going to single crochet in the next single crochet. Then chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to slip stitch in the third chain from the hook. So you're going to go right down in here, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and make your slip stitch. Alright, and there's your picot. Now you're going to skip the next single crochet and single crochet in the next 2 single crochets. So there's the first single crochet, second, and you're going to do the picot again. So you're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and you're going to slip stitch in the third chain from hook. Yarn over, pull through that loop. Skip the next single crochet and single crochet in the next 2 single crochets. And you're going to repeat this round until you get to the end, so I'll meet you there. Alright, so I'm doing my last picot. So again, I'm going to chain 3, slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook, and then I'm going to skip that last single crochet and slip stitch in our first single crochet we made. Alright, then you're just going to fasten off your yarn, and you have just finished the lower edging. So for rounds 1 and 2 of the armhole edging, it's very similar to our last 2 rounds. So what we're going to do is, with the front side facing you, you're going to join your yarn at the side seam. I'm going to use my light purple yarn again. Then you're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the same space. You're going to need 63 single crochets all around, and since it's hard to know where you need to place your single crochets to have enough, I did some math. So first you're going to have 14 single crochets evenly spaced across the side edge. You could do 7 on one half and 7 on the other. Alright, so here are my 14 single crochets. And now we're going to do 11 single crochets along this whole side. Once you're done with that, I'll meet you at the end. Alright, so now we're heading on to the straps. You're going to need 27 single crochets all along there. And if you look at where you sewed your straps together, you could do 13 single crochets on one side and 1 single crochet in the middle and another 13 single crochets on the other side to get 27 total for the strap. Now it's really hard to know where to place your single crochets on these edges, but just do your best to get 27 and remember not to go through the spaces. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so by now you should have 52 single crochets total. We're now going to do another 11 single crochets along this whole side. And once you're done with that, I'll meet you at the end. Once you're done, you're going to slip stitch in the first single crochet. Hopefully I explained all of that well. The next round is easy though because we're going to do picots again. And here's what it looks like. Alright, so you already know how to do picots, but I decided to just show you again. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, single crochet in that same single crochet, you're then going to single crochet in the next single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then you're going to slip stitch in the third chain from the hook, yarn over, pull through the loop on your hook, skip a single crochet and single crochet in the next 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and you're going to repeat this process all the way around this armhole edge, and I'll meet you at the end. Alright, so now I'm on my last picot, so I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in the third chain from the hook, and then I'm going to skip the next single crochet and slip stitch in the beginning single crochet we made. You're then going to fasten off your yarn, and by now you can start to really see how cute this vest really is, and the picot stitching really is such a simple touch, but it's so amazing. It's like a little cherry on top. You're also going to repeat these 2 rounds for the other armhole, and I'll meet you once you're done so we can start the neck hole edging. Okay, so here is what both armholes look like when completed. They are so adorable, so cute, and my excitement is just through the roof, even though this is like my second time making this vest. Anyways, we'll now start our last 2 rounds, which is the neck hole edging. Alright, now let's finish this off. The neck hole is basically the same as the armholes, but we're just adding more single crochets. So you're going to join your yarn at one of the shoulder seams. I'm just going to place mine right down here. Then you're going to chain 1 and single crochet in the same space. Gonna add my stitch marker. Now I also did some math for this because the pattern says you'll need 87 single crochets evenly spaced around this whole neck hole edge. The first time I made this vest I did do 87 single crochets, but when I started doing my picots I noticed that the picots on the neck hole side had less than the picots on the armhole side. I didn't really like how this looks, so I decided to do 102 single crochets instead. If you do want to have 87 single crochets though, just follow along and I'll explain what to do when we get to the strap. So now you're going to do 24 single crochets along this top part. And I'll meet you at the strap once you're done. Alright, so here is what those 24 single crochets look like. So now we're going to do the straps. For those who want to do 87 single crochets total, do 20 single crochets on this whole side strap. For those who want to do 104 single crochets like me, do 27 single crochets total like we did for the armhole side. So I'll meet you at the end once you're done. Alright, so here is what it looks like so far. I added a stitch marker there to know where my middle stitch was. And now we're going to do another 24 single crochets all along here. Once you're done, I'll meet you at the end. Alright, now we're on the second strap. For my 104 single crochets, do 26 single crochets. Reason why we're doing 26 is because our first single crochet that we did was on the strap. And for my 87 single crocheters, do 18 single crochets instead of 20 single crochets. I'll meet you at the end. Alright, so now I'm at the end. Let me take off this stitch marker. And here is what the strap looks like. And then you're just going to slip stitch into that beginning single crochet. Alright, and here is what that round looks like, and now we'll head on to our last round. Alright, last round. We're going to do another picot stitch for this round, so I'm not going to show you how to do it because I'm pretty sure you already know how to. But if you need to go back and see how to do it again, you could always go back to round 2 of the armhole edging or round 6 of the lower edging. So once you're done, I'll meet you at the end, and I'll see you there. Alright, so I'm just finishing up my last picot, and I'm going to slip stitch in the beginning chain. Alright, now I just fastened off my yarn, and you're basically done now. You just need to weave in this and any other stragglers that also need to be weaved in, but other than that, you're all done. Here is what the whole neck hole edge looks like. Very, very cute. Alright, and here's what it looks like. And that's the video. If you have any questions or you were confused on something, please let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. But other than that, that's the tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, maybe I'll do another tutorial, and other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.